Hello everyone, welcome back. So this is part 2 of the story, and it starts with the wedding, so let's dive into this. The wedding hall looked like something out of a dream. White lilies filled every corner, their soft fragrance spreading through the air, while crystal chandeliers shone above like a sky full of stars. Everything was perfect, grand, beautiful, and flawless. But the person standing at the entrance didn't match that beauty at all. Kate stood there, greeting guests, her face cold and distant, her eyes filled with irritation instead of happiness. Not even a small smile appeared on her lips. Anyone could tell, this bridegroom did not want to be here. Her mother stepped closer, her smile polite for the guests, but her voice sharp underneath. "Fix your face." Kate didn't even try to pretend. "This is the best I can do." The tension between them was obvious, but neither of them backed down. Because both of them knew the truth. This marriage was forced. Kate had been pushed into marrying Emily, a quiet, chubby girl who had grown up in their house, someone who was never meant to stand beside her like this. Around them, whispers had already begun. She was forced into it. The bride is just a foster girl. She's not even suitable. The word spread quickly, like poison in the air. Not far away, Emily stood quietly with her head lowered, her hands gently holding her dress. She didn't speak, didn't move much. Almost like she was trying to disappear. Kate glanced at her for a second and let out a small scoff. "Just looking at her ruins my mood." The words were not quiet. They were meant to be heard. Emily slowly lifted her eyes as if hoping for something softer, something kinder, but the cold glare she received crushed that hope instantly. Her courage disappeared, and she lowered her head again, just like always. Kate let out a frustrated breath before turning away and walking off, leaving everything behind, her family, the guests, and even her own bride. Emily watched her go, her chest tightening painfully. Today was supposed to be the most important day of her life, but to Kate, it meant nothing. Time passed, and when Kate returned, the sharp smell of alcohol followed her. Her face was slightly red, her movements less controlled, but her cold attitude hadn't changed at all. The whispers grew louder. "I feel bad for Kate. She had someone else before. She must be heartbroken." Some even laughed quietly, looking at Emily with clear judgment. That was when Kate's sister stepped in, her expression turning cold as she faced the gossiping guests. "If you don't have anything nice to say, then don't say anything at all. Keep talking like that and you'll be thrown out." The women immediately fell silent, their confidence disappearing in an instant. But even that didn't fix the real problem. Kate. She grabbed another glass, drinking as if she was trying to escape everything around her. "I just want this to end." Her voice carried frustration, exhaustion, and anger all at once. Her sister tried to calm her down, warning her not to ruin the event, but Kate only let out a bitter laugh. "We're going to divorce anyway." Even before the wedding was over, she had already decided how it would end. Then her eyes landed on Emily again, and her expression darkened. "I don't even know why I have to marry that sweet pig." The words were cruel, careless, and sharp enough to cut deep. Emily stood still, saying nothing, but inside, every word hit her like a blow. Her sister tried to defend her, reminding Kate that Emily was kind, hardworking, and cared about her deeply. But Kate didn't listen. "She doesn't know her place." There was no softness in her voice, no hesitation. Only rejection. Soon, it was time to go on stage. The lights grew brighter, all eyes turning toward them as they stood side by side. The host smiled, trying to keep the atmosphere light. "What impressed you most about your bride?" For a moment, everything went quiet. Kate took the microphone, a slow smirk forming on her lips as she looked at Emily with clear disdain. "Nothing." The single word hit the room like a shockwave. But she didn't stop there. "I'm more shocked than impressed. A servant like her managing to become my wife, that's what's surprising." A low, cruel laugh followed, echoing in the silent hall. The guests froze, unsure how to react. And Emily. Her fingers tightened around her dress, her hands trembling slightly. Tears filled her eyes, but she tried her best to hold them back. Not here. Not in front of everyone. But it hurt. More than anything she had imagined. Those words didn't just embarrass her. They broke something inside her. Seeing the situation spiral out of control, Kate's mother rushed forward and quickly ended the ceremony, trying to save what little dignity was left. But it was already too late. The whispers, the humiliation, the pain. Everything had already happened. Under the bright lights of that grand wedding hall, one person stood filled with anger and resistance. While the other stood silently, her heart slowly falling apart. The moment the stage incident ended, the entire wedding atmosphere changed. What was supposed to be a grand and beautiful celebration slowly turned cold and uncomfortable. Guests began leaving one by one, whispering among themselves, carrying the humiliation of the groom's harsh words with them. At the entrance, Kate's mother stood with her children, forcing a smile as she sent the guests off. Beside them, Emily stood quietly, her head lowered, hiding the sadness in her eyes. She didn't speak at all, as if she had already accepted everything. Meanwhile, Kate didn't care about any of it. She grabbed a bottle of alcohol and went straight to the bridal suite, leaving everything behind without a second thought. Once the hall was empty, her mother could no longer hold back her anger. The humiliation, the embarrassment, it all exploded at once. Without stopping, she headed straight to the bridal room, her steps filled with rage. The others followed behind, tense and worried. Emily, even though exhausted and weak, still walked after them. She had been standing since early morning, barely eating anything, and now both her body and heart felt heavy. Still, she went, because somewhere inside, she felt like she was the reason for all this. When the door opened, the strong smell of alcohol filled the room. Kate was sitting carelessly on the sofa, her clothes messy, a bottle in her hand, completely relaxed as if nothing had happened. Instead of feeling guilty, she looked amused. Her mother confronted her immediately, unable to accept what she had done. But Kate showed no regret. She brushed everything off, acting like none of it mattered, even speaking carelessly and disrespectfully. The situation quickly grew worse. Kate's anger, mixed with alcohol, turned sharper. Instead of calming down, she started mocking the situation, even dragging Emily into it. Her words were full of sarcasm and cruelty, making it clear that she had no respect for this marriage, or for Emily. Emily didn't fight back. She stood there quietly, taking every word in silence. Seeing this, the tension in the room became heavier. Even Kate's siblings could no longer stay calm. They could clearly see that this was no longer just anger, it was something deeper. Years of frustration. Unspoken pain. Then suddenly, everything broke. In a moment of lost control, Kate roughly pushed Emily away. Emily stumbled backward and fell hard to the ground. A glass shattered beside her, and within seconds, blood appeared on her arm, staining her white wedding dress. A small cut formed on her cheek as well. Everyone rushed to her side in panic. Everyone, except Kate. She stood there watching, her expression cold. But deep inside, something shifted. Because once again, all the attention, all the care, went to Emily. And that old feeling returned. The feeling she had buried for years. The feeling of being left behind. Long ago, when she was just a child, Kate had lost her father. Around the same time, Emily entered their home, a girl who had lost everything. So her mother gave that girl love, care, and protection. But without realizing it, she took something away from her own daughter. And ever since then, somewhere deep inside, Kate had believed one thing. That she was never the one chosen. And maybe that was where all this cruelty truly began. That's it for today, hope you like this part. If you want to know what will happen next, don't forget to subscribe the channel. Thank you for watching.